Namaskar and welcome to StudyIQ. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonkar. The agenda for today's discussion is connected to Indian polity, where we are going to discuss about Indian Parliament. Why are we discussing this? Because recently both the houses of Indian Parliament have been adjourned sine die. We do know that the monsoon session for 2023, it began on July 20th and it formally ended on August 11th. You can see here both the houses of Parliament adjourned sine die, bringing end to the monsoon session. So in this video lecture, we'll understand the different terminologies connected with sessions of Parliament. What is the meaning of adjournment? What is the meaning of adjournment sine die? Very soon, in a few days, the president is going to prorogue the houses. What is the meaning of prorogation? So we'll understand all these terminologies. This discussion is very important from UPSC Civil Services exams perspective, mainly for prelims. On the back of my mind, I can create a question right now itself. Say, consider the following statements. I'll give you two statements. The first statement reads, President is responsible for prorogation of both the houses of the Parliament. Statement 1. Second one, it is the President's duty to adjourn houses sine die before the end of a session. Two statements. Options would be, again, you have to find out the correct statements. Options would be 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. All right. Such questions might appear. So we'll understand the terminologies connected with these. Do let me know the answer in the comment section. All right. Right. Let's begin our interaction. But before that, remember that StudyIQ's biggest sale of the year is active. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav sale is on, where you will get heavy discounts on different courses on StudyIQ. You do know our flagship program, Prelims to Interview. It is beginning in August, mid 14th August is the beginning of the classes, and you will get discounted price for that at 26999 if you use my code Rahul Live. Now this is applicable from 11th August to 15th August because of the Independence Day sale. The entire program is available in three formats: English, Hindi, and the bilingual format English. You do know that this program already comes with the prelims test series. It also includes the mains residential program. If you clear your preliminary examination, you would be called to the StudyIQ Center, where you would be building your answer writing skills with the faculties and the mentors. So make use of this discount and enroll very, very soon. We are also offering a lot of options. Whatever optional you have decided, you can choose any of these options that we are providing. And here also heavy discounts are running. If you use my code Rahul Live, you will get the optional course for 12,999 only. This includes a test series with the program itself. It's completely online. You don't need to shift anywhere. Directly at your home, you can attend your classes along with the test series as well. There is PSIR optional, there is Sociology, Geography. The list is given here. Whatever you choose, do it soon. All right. Right. Let's begin our discussion about the Parliament. As I told you that this Parliament session, the monsoon session, was quite interesting because it ended with a debate on the no confidence motion. I think everybody saw the statements from the Home Minister, the opposition statements. A lot of things happened during this parliamentary session, which basically ended with the Prime Minister's address as well. He addressed over the Manipur issue as well. The entire country was waiting for that. And now the monsoon session, it has come to an end amid the opposition protest itself. So what happened? Both the houses have been adjourned sine die. So we'll try to understand what is the meaning of this. Now, before we get into these terminologies, we need to understand some constitutional aspects. What are the articles relevant with respect to summoning or sessions of Parliament? Article 85. I expect aspirants to remember this. This is the power of the president to summon the house. Now, under Article 85, remember, President of India, I am reiterating here, everything is connected to President of India. President has the power to do three things. One is to summon the houses, call the houses. Second one is to prorogue the houses. We'll understand this term. And the third one is dissolve the house. When I say dissolve the house, dissolve only the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha is a continuing house. So president has these three powers in Article 85. Under Article 85, president has to summon the house from time to time. And please remember, within two sessions, maximum time limit can be, or maximum time difference can be 6 months. President has the power from time to time to prorogue the house and dissolve the house as well. Article 85. Now, let's look at this terminology and understand what exactly happens. As I told you already, summoning power is with the President of India. The proroguing power, it is also with the President of India. But there are two other terms, adjournment and adjournment sine. And you saw the news right now that both the houses have been adjourned sine. What is the meaning of these terms? And remember, adjourned sine, this power or adjournment, this power is with the speaker or the chairman of the respective house. I'll just write speaker here for your understanding. Both these powers are with the speaker. And of course, dissolution, I'm repeating, dissolution of only Lok Sabha, because you do know logically it is only Lok Sabha whose normal tenure or normal life is 5 years, and Lok Sabha is dissolved every 5 years, normally 5 years, or even before that, whenever the government loses majority. We have seen many elections during the coalition era. So dissolution of only Lok Sabha, because Rajya Sabha is a continuing house, it is not subject to dissolution, only Lok Sabha is dissolved. So this is done by the President of India. So please remember these, because they are important from MCQ perspective. Now, what are these terms? See, first term, summoning. Summon, by name itself you understand, summon means call the people together, call the members of parliament for the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. This power is with the President of India. President will summon the houses from time to time. And we do know that there are 3 sessions of Indian Parliament which run. All right. And summoning, President has to summon a house within 6 months. The maximum gap between 2 sessions, it cannot be more than 6 months. And logically, it happens in India, you do know, because the gap cannot be more than 6 months. Ideally, we need to have minimum of 2 sessions, but we have in our parliament 3 sessions. What are those sessions? We have the budget session, right, which is the longest session, which concluded in February, March, again, which concluded, I would say, in June, right? It continued from February to June. There is a small break in between. The budget session, right now, the parliament's monsoon session was active. It ended very recently. And in the cold season, we get a winter session as well. Winter session starts somewhere around November, December, sometimes in January as well. So November, December, January, December, Jan is the time, right, during the winter season. So 3 times President summons these houses, all right, in an year. All right. Summoning means calling the MPs for a sitting. Next, adjournment. Now, this adjournment power is with the presiding officer. Please remember, the first step is summoning. Now, this is the idea. This is the first step. The president summons the houses. As soon as president summons, president says that I am calling the houses of parliament to meet. Right now, the monsoon session, summoning, again, say from July 20 to August 11, this session will run. So I would expect the MPs to attend and run the parliament business. All right. So president's job is done. He is called. Now the house business starts. Respective houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, their working commences, and there the speaker and the chairman, they have the power for adjournment. Now, what is this adjournment? Adjournment is basically a stoppage in the work. Now you do understand what is the meaning of term adjournment. Adjournment means stopping something which is happening. You adjourn your work. But whenever the house is adjourned, remember, there is always a reconvening time, a reconvening date. You must have heard in the news that Lok Sabha has been adjourned for 2 hours. Why? Amid, say, opposition protest or because of some particular issue. The Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha has been adjourned, say, from 11 o'clock to 2 p.m. After 2 p.m., the session will start again. Adjournment always comes with a date or a time for reconvening, say adjourned for 2 days. During the budget session, the discussion happens, and after that, the houses are adjourned for almost 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, because the budgetary allocation, they have to be studied by different committees, right? So adjournment always comes with a specified date or time for reconvening. It's a temporary stoppage of work. And this power is with the speaker or the chairman, respective speaker or the chairman of the house. The term adjournment sine die means stopping your work. Sine die means without any day for reconvening. That means the houses have stopped the work indefinitely. Now, this power is again with the presiding officers. Without any date, without any time for reconvening, when the houses are adjourned, it is called as adjourned sine die. Now, you must be thinking, sir, why so many technical terms? These are the conventions that we have been following. Because from the British, we have the Westminster model in India. So we have been following so many conventions that they used to follow, right? Now, after a few days, I told you, after a few days, the president is going to prorogue the houses. You will get this news, say, in a couple of days, 2, 3, 4 days, or within a week. You will get a small snippet in newspaper, Hindu or Indian Express, wherever in news you get that the president has prorogued both the houses. Now, what is the meaning of prorogue? Prorogue means stretching that adjournment. Basically, prorogation means stopping the work. It's a Latin term. Again, it's a convention that we use from the British itself. Prorogue, the root word basically comes from a Latin word called as prorogere, means to stretch out. Prorogation is basically stretching out of that adjournment. And with prorogation, that session ends. That session ends. So this is one particular session story. A session, say right now monsoon session, it was summoned, the houses ran. During a day itself, there can be many adjournments. Remember, adjournments can be many. Adjournments can be many during a session, because this session, it ran for almost say 23 days, right? 23 days the monsoon session ran, and there were so many adjournments, right? It was adjourned because of some protest, it was adjourned because people getting into the well. So adjournment can be many, but summoning is one incident where houses are summoned by the president. Adjournment sine die is once for a session, prorogation is once for a session, and dissolution is something which happens to end the life of Lok Sabha. All right, now let me explain you more clearly. I have just created something here so that you understand. Say the normal term of Lok Sabha began, say for instance, the Modi government, the NDA 2 government, it began in 2019, correct? Again, in 2019, it's the year 1. Now in year 1, wherever, even if it has started midway, so that's why I have drawn a black circle here. Some sessions might have missed out. Say the government started from May, so the budget session was not conducted, so it starts from the monsoon session. So this year is going to have 3 sessions. That means the president is going to summon the houses 3 times, then the houses will run, then the adjournment sine die is done by the presiding officers, meaning for every year we have 3 sessions. In these 3 sessions, there would be 3 times summoning of the houses. Adjournment can be many, and these days we see that the parliament working has been disrupted a lot of times. So I would say for the last 10 years, there have been a record number of adjournments for sure. Adjournment sine die would be one for each house. That means for budget session, you have a summoning process, you have many adjournments, you have adjournment sine die, yes, and then you have prorogation as well. And once this is prorogued, that means the session has ended, probably for 1 or 2 months. And then the next session, monsoon session, is called. Summoning happens, then adjournment sine die happens, then you have prorogation of house. That session ends. So this happens for each and every session. So it runs for every year. You do understand. That's why Lok Sabha begins. And at the end of Lok Sabha, there is dissolution. That means it is dissolved. Remember, it might coincide with the prorogation itself. The president, on the last day itself, or whenever it is adjourned sine die, the president, he may prorogue or dissolve the Lok Sabha. Only Lok Sabha is dissolved. Rajya Sabha continues. I hope it's clear. All right. Now, there are some questions in students' mind with respect to this. I told you summoning, adjournment. Now, adjournment, it suspends for a specified time, a specified day of reconvening is told. Adjournment sine die indefinitely without any day for reconvening. Now, prorogation means termination of that particular session for one session. Dissolution is completely ending the life of the Lok Sabha. Now, there are some doubts among students, especially with respect to these 2 terms. So, I want to understand this further. See, prorogation is only for a session. President has the power to prorogue. President has the power to dissolve. Please remember this particular point. Now, prorogation is a process that is used to end the session of a house. The session is ended. But dissolution, it ends the life of the Lok Sabha itself. And please remember, prorogation has to be called separately for Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. All right. In the same order, the president may say, I am proroguing the parliament. That means both the houses of the session. Sometimes, say only Rajya Sabha can be sitting. It depends on the president. It depends on the summoning power, right? You do understand that it applies to both. Prorogation applies to both Rajya Sabha as well as Lok Sabha. But dissolution only applies to Lok Sabha. And prorogation, it does not have any effect on pending bills, meaning only session has taken a break. Once the session reconvenes, see, you do understand, on the last day, right now, the Home Minister Amit Shah, on the last day, he said that we are introducing, or we are going to introduce some new bills, and it was introduced in Lok Sabha also, the bills to amend CRPC, the bills to amend Evidence Act, etc. Right? Nothing would happen to those bills. Why? In the winter session, they would be again taken up for discussion. Prorogation has no effect on the bills. With prorogation, all the notices, they expire. All the notices. If somebody has given a notice, say for say point of order, or say any kind of motion, etc., those notices expire except for introduction of the bill. Only a notice for introduction of the bill, they will stay, because when the next house or the next session starts, that bill can be introduced. All the other notices would lapse. But with Lok Sabha, bills and notices, they lapse. And we need to learn about this, because this is also a very important concept from exam perspective. Prelims question can be framed over this. What happens to the bills, notices, assurances once dissolution takes place? Once the Lok Sabha is dissolved, please remember, there are some bills which lapse. And for this, I am telling you a shortcut. Any bill which touches the Lok Sabha, it mostly lapses. What are the bills that lapse? A bill which originates in Lok Sabha, it lapses. A bill which is originated and it is passed by Lok Sabha and it is now pending in Rajya Sabha, that is also lapsed. A bill which originates in Rajya Sabha and it is passed by the Rajya Sabha, but now it is pending in the Lok Sabha, that would also lapse. Please remember, anything which touches the Lok Sabha, it's lapse. Why? Because I want the new house, the new members of parliament to discuss on that issue. So I want a new bill itself. All right. Apart from that, a bill which is originated in Rajya Sabha, but it has been returned by Lok Sabha with amendments. And if that bill is pending in Rajya Sabha, that would also lapse, meaning something has touched the Lok Sabha. But there are many bills which do not lapse, especially a bill which is only pending in Rajya Sabha. Remember, only pending in Rajya Sabha, it does not lapse, because common sense tells me that Rajya Sabha is a continuing house. Why would I want it to lapse? And that is why, try to observe this, whenever the government is at its end, that means say fag end of its tenure, they would like to introduce more and more bills in Rajya Sabha, because if they are introduced in Rajya Sabha, they would continue even in the new term. So if the government returns, say if they gain majority again, they can continue the issue. So if it is in Rajya Sabha, it will not lapse, it will stay. Or a bill which has been notified by the president for joint sitting, that stays. When the new Lok Sabha is convened, when the new Lok Sabha is formed, now the session continues, the bill continues. Apart from that, a bill passed by both the houses, but it is only pending presidential assent, it does not lapse, it continues. A bill passed by both the houses, but returned by the president only for the reconsideration of Rajya Sabha, that remains, that does not lapse. Also, pending bills and all pending assurances which have been transferred or which are with the Committee on Government Assurances, they stay, they do not lapse. Clear? So please remember these, what lapses, what does not lapse. Some questions might emerge on that. I hope I have given you enough clarity on the terms summoning of the house, prorogation of the house, and dissolution of Lok Sabha, along with what is the meaning of adjournment and adjournment sine die. Adjournment and adjournment sine die, the powers of these, they lie with the presiding officer, and the powers under Article 85 are with the president. For summoning, for proroguing, and for dissolution, the lower house, that is Lok Sabha, they are with the president. All right. Right, let's end this discussion with a small note. As I told you, the monsoon session has ended, but every year we have been looking at this, that the productivity of parliament has been continuously going down, and we saw a similar kind of development in this monsoon session as well. The monsoon session, it was spanning over 23 days, out of which there were only 17 sittings, and both the houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, they passed 23 bills. But if you look at the productivity of the houses, in Lok Sabha, productivity was only 45%, and in Rajya Sabha, productivity was only 63%. If we dissect this data further, we do understand that the term decline of parliament is a reality, and the decline of parliament is still continuing because there have been so many disruptions, so many adjournments because of protests, because of many reasons. We have seen that during the parliament. So this calls for the preparation for another topic, that is decline of parliament from mains perspective. Probably we'll take it up in some other session. All right. So that's it in this particular discussion. Thank you for watching this video. And if you have liked this video, you can always follow me on this particular ID at the rate Rahul Sai 222. Thank you for watching this video again. Jai Hind.